Hi, my name is Rebecca. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a certified personal trainer and fitness instructor. This is my houseplant Barbara, and welcome to our channel where we lead inclusive and low-impact movement classes. Today's class is a stretch and mobility routine for sore hips. I'm using a yoga mat and a small cushion, but these are optional. Use whatever you have at home. Okay, let's stretch. Starting our hip stretch and mobility routine, we'll warm up. I'm gonna hold on to the wall, but if you have a chair or a piece of furniture handy, that works great too. Turning to the side, holding onto the wall for support. We'll start with our outside leg, gentle swings forward and back. My standing leg has a soft bend in the knee to support me. And the goal here is to get some movement through this hip joint. Keep going at your own pace. This can be a small movement or a higher movement, depending on your flexibility. Good, we'll take a second to rest. Similar movement, but this time we'll cross our leg forward and back in front of us. Again, this can be a small movement. You can take it a little bit higher. Just make sure you're not experiencing any pain. Take a few more here. Good, shake it out. Last movement on this side, we'll move in circles now. So bringing our hip up and around in a full circle. Good. We'll go the other way with our circle. Good. Switching sides. Take a moment. And we'll start with swings forward and back. Even though these movements are small, it can be quite challenging. Our hips often get tight and sore from sitting for extended periods of time. So if this is a challenge for you, don't worry. It is challenging for me too. Good, rest. Forward and back. A few more here. Good. Moving back into our hip circles. And we'll go the other way. Good job. Okay, we're gonna head to sit on our mat now. Okay, we're gonna head into a lunge now, a low lunge on our mat or on a soft surface. I'm taking my front leg, foot is planted into the floor, and the goal here is to stretch the hip flexor in our back leg. So for some of us, right here might be a really good stretch through this hip flexor. Some options, I like to use a little cushion, or you can double up your mat if you're using a mat, just to protect my knee here, because we don't want to experience knee pain, but we want to be able to feel the benefit of this stretch. So we'll start here, just take a couple of breaths. and really think about the stretch in this hip. If you're not feeling too much of a stretch here, you can experiment with moving this knee backwards a bit to deepen the stretch. Another option is we can come forward, placing our hands on the floor or yoga blocks or elbows on the floor, depending on your flexibility. Good, okay, we're gonna switch sides. So again, front foot forward, planting this foot into the floor, stretching through the hip on the extended leg. And just breathe here. Again, if you'd like, we can take this lunge a little bit deeper, and that might increase the stretch in your hip flexor. Good job. Okay, moving into a pigeon stretch now. Taking my front leg forward in roughly a 90-degree angle here. And my goal is to stretch the hip on the extended leg. Now for me, this position here is enough of a stretch. As an option, you can take a cushion or a yoga block to support your bent leg. And we'll breathe here. If you want, you can fold forward even further to come onto your elbows if that feels good in your body and you don't experience any pain in your low back. Good, we're gonna come out of this position slowly, bringing ourselves back up. Same thing on the other side. So I'm bringing my opposite leg in front of me, stretching into my pigeon, getting to a place where I feel a comfortable stretch through this hip flexor. Again, you can fold forward if you'd like, but the goal of this pose is all about the hips, and it's still an extremely effective stretch if you are propped up here or propped up here. Good, okay, slowly coming out of this stretch. And we're gonna come to sit down on our mats next. Next, we're moving into a 90-90 stretch. So I'm positioning one hip with internal rotation, other hip with external rotation. And it's called 90-90 because we're roughly at 90 degrees on both legs. You don't have to be at exactly 90, of course. That's just to help you envision what the stretch looks like. So from here, this might be a really good stretch for you, especially on the hip that's internally rotated. If you'd like, again, you can put your cushion underneath your hip for a little extra support. You can take one hand behind you for extra support, or if it feels comfortable and you're able to, we can sit up as straight as possible in center. Lots of options here. And we're gonna breathe in whichever position feels most comfortable for you. And of course, if you start to feel any pain, any cramping, use an option, lean out of it. A couple more seconds here. Okay, we'll slowly switch sides. Same thing, but sitting on the opposite side now. Again, put a hand behind you to support or sit upright. The side might feel really different, and that's okay. Few more seconds here. Good, slowly coming out of this. Shake it out a little. We're gonna come into a butterfly stretch. So this time we're taking the soles of our feet together. Knees are facing outwards and we're thinking about pushing them down into the floor, towards the floor. If you're more comfortable, you can sit on a cushion or a yoga block for extra support. Or you can even put cushions underneath your knees. Good, breathe here. Think about pressing those knees towards the floor. Big opening through the inner thighs and hips. Good, for our last couple seconds here, I'll challenge you if you can to lean forward a little more. So maybe holding your toes, maybe folding forward even further than this. But thinking about folding forwards and still pressing your knees towards the floor. Good, slowly coming out of this. Shake it out, rest for a second. Last seated move. This one is tricky. It's tricky for me too. We're gonna come back to our 90-90 position from before, but this time I'm facing more on a diagonal. And we're gonna work through rotating from this side all the way over to the opposite side. So I'm starting in my 90-90 position. I'm starting with my outside leg, opening up all the way through, similar to that butterfly pose, rotating to 90-90 on the other side. So you can go at your own pace here, opening up through center, 90-90 the opposite side. Holding on each side just for a second. If it's easier, you can put your hands behind you for support. Or for a challenge, hold them at center. Let's take two more. Good job. Thanks so much for moving with me today. If you enjoyed this class, please like this video, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and click here for more movement classes. Bye.